Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get this set up. Oh boy, I gotta sit down and actually go over like the aspects of StreamerBot after that update and see what that entails. But it should be fun. Anywho, don't worry about that. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the newsroom and welcome to the Goutopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. This is the Snort Report, brought to you by SnortBucks Coffee Company. Best beverage company ever. Here we go. So let's see here. Lot to do. Okay, so quick announcement, I suppose. I think, well, not that I think this, it's happening, it is what it is. They won't know about it until it actually happens, but the month of September, I'm going to give everybody here at GTG Network and Productions off that entire month leading into the holidays. Now, that's not actually a bad thing, in that in August, or currently in August, I should say, I'm working on a bunch of our backlog, and that's what will go up in September, plus or minus anything that I find interesting, because I'll still be in play, at least for the most part. But I'm going to give everybody off. So you're guaranteed at least 3 videos a week throughout September. So that's cool. And then October, November, we'll be back in full swing. And then I will give I'll more than likely give everybody December off. And whatnot. Now that doesn't, now with that being said, that doesn't actually change 12 days till Goutmas or 25 days of Goutmas. That doesn't actually affect any of that. Because I've been actually working on that as well. I just need to finish those videos up and then get them edited up, and then there you go. So that's pretty much what that situation is. I'll probably speak on that again if any changes come up over the next few videos, but I think that's what the plan is going to be. I think I'm going to give everybody September off. Most of the backlog, at least that will fill September, is already done, or I am finishing up on. So that's a thing. So fun stuff all around. And so that's our, there's our business meeting for the day. So ladies and gentlemen, let's go into one of my favorite segments. Hopefully one of your favorite segments, because we could now clown on this ass clown. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my TED Talk. Nope. All right, welcome to my TED Talk. So the video in question for today, or at least that, yeah, for today, will be, let's see here. What are we doing? Already did that one. Okay, this one right here. DSP speaks on not getting respect from YouTube. Excuse me, that's hilarious. And Nintendo Switch 2, Cat's thoughts on it. I don't know why that means anything about anything, but she's just gonna parrot whatever DSP says for the most part. It's not like she's a free thinker. As DSP not getting any respect from YouTube, I guess it depends exactly on what he's talking about. If he's talking about people who work at YouTube, that makes sense. If he's talking about people who are on YouTube, that makes even more sense. He doesn't respect anybody either. He's never appreciated anything that was given to him by YouTube, by Machinima, by Curse, by even the dents in his audience. So why he would think that would be reciprocated back to him makes no sense whatsoever. As it pertains to YouTube, the platform, he's literally tried to rip them off and or game the system since he started. So the fact that slowly but surely he's being forgotten within the search engine and as well as in the algorithm is a two-pronged situation. One, it was his own fault. When he sat there and deleted all those videos back, what was that, 2015? When he sat there and deleted all that shit, he screwed himself up. And for whatever reason, he thought he was going to bounce back in a couple of years. And he didn't. What it did is it opened up this huge foothold that allowed other people to go ahead and take his place in the algorithm. Either other content creators who do gaming stuff, or his detractors, trolls, haters, and critics. The same thing could be said for when Wings sat there and purged his fucking back catalog, and now he thinks, oh, well, I'll stream every day, or even a couple times a day, and he thinks he'll make up ground. He won't, because locals are stupid. And then Review Tech USA falls into that too. Dropped that 1 million sub channel, which was botted and sub-botted and view-botted, Hey, let's make sure we got all that out there. Goes back to his streaming channel, which is completely and utterly devoted to Darkside Phil. If anything, he may very well be the most dedicated Darkside Phil A-log. You know what I'm saying? Being that you ain't branded fucking DSP's face on your flesh before your own kids, which is crazy. Anywho, so, and then Review Tech USA goes back to doing gaming content on the very channel where he said he didn't want to do that stuff anymore. Like, what the hell did you get rid of the main channel for? And then, if you were having issues with that channel, why didn't you just ask Keemstar for help? Whatever. Talk about that later. So, the point being is that DSP has gone out of his way to fuck himself on all fronts. And then, more importantly, I think, is he underestimated the resilience and the drive of his detractors, trolls, haters, and critics. He still does. He thinks if he can just go ahead and, you know, hit everybody with the scarlet letter, sorry, that everybody just does this for profit, he thinks that somehow hurts people or it hurts the image or whatever. It's almost like he's trying to resurrect SOK, or at least I can't say values, but at least what the edict of some of Fred Fuck's of some of his tomes or thought process back in those days. That's literally what DSP's trying to do here. It's not going to work. And even people who don't fuck with SOK wouldn't let Darkside Phil pervert that for his own ends or own means. That's just not a thing. And that, now that DSP has been labeled a pedophile defender, no one's ever going to take you seriously, champ. But whatever. That's a project I'm working on later. And we'll see where that comes from, because I think a much closer look needs to be made on that whole Panda Lee thing. I'm not saying it's supposed to be definitive or anything like that. I'm just going to give you my hot take on it with some interesting tidbits that I found in older videos, and then we'll go from there. But in any case, yeah, so there's no reason for YouTube or anybody on YouTube to respect DSP. As it pertains to Kat and her thoughts on the Switch 2, I don't understand why anybody would care, to be honest with you. She has a Twitter. She could speak on it over there. She has her own YouTube channel and a Twitch channel. Oh, well, actually, I don't know if I can find that Twitch anymore now I think about it. I don't think you can find her Twitch anymore now I think about it. But she has a YouTube channel. She can go ahead and talk about it over there. She can go over on Instagram and she can talk about it there. I think her Instagram still exists. Or maybe is it that her Twitch is still up, but you can't find her Instagram? I can't remember now. But I don't think any of that holds any value, to be honest with you. She's just a talking head as far as I'm concerned. So if she ever is able to drop any weight, then Phil, maybe you can bring her into the conversation. Until then, go ahead and keep, feeding her diabetes, her thyroid, or whatever else that keeps her locked in the house so she can't leave you. And I'll let you deal with that the way you see fit. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk, ladies and gentlemen. And let's go ahead and get to the video at hand, because that's a thing. Oh my god. Cat thing was kind of brutal, but let's be honest, like she has nothing to contribute to the conversation, and DSP is like directly responsible for that, which is wild that you would treat somebody that you supposedly love like that. Womp womp. Okay, so let's go ahead and get ourselves started here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with well, actually, let's see if the video's locked in here. Yeah, it is. All right. I saw somebody dark in the comment section for already chomping at the hooves. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Raw Phil and big ups to Diggs. Let's see here. Darkside Phil speaks on not getting respect from YouTube and Nintendo Switch 2. Cat's thoughts on it. Sorry. This is from June 9th of 2025, our year of the snake eater. And let's go ahead and get into our situation. Even though I just spoke about Kat and her weight, I don't smell no bacon cooking. So let's go ahead and hit that aggressively. And here we go. Oh, wait a second, actually. Oh yeah, I can do that while we're doing it. All right, like I said, here we go.
I do want to hit a goal, but we're playing the game. What do you want me to do? I'm talking with you guys and chilling while we do it. Let's get some support. Why not? Guys, can we get some support for the stream? We were at 40-something bucks, I think. What are we at right now? I don't even know. I haven't been checking. We're at 44 bucks of support. Let's get something else. Come on, someone support the stream. How about a super chat or a membership or a tip or a sub? Let's get one. We had one sub today.
Successful businessman begging the in his fictional sandwich shop, begging customers to buy sandwiches, which is hilarious. Which is fucking hilarious. But this is the same fucking numbskull who has the nerve to tell you that he is successful. He is thriving. He is succeeding. But then we're doing all this crying and complaining. How successful can you really be if you have to ask people for help? I want you to think about that. How successful are you really if you have to ask people for help? Daily. Not even daily. Hourly, to be honest. Something to think about.
Hey, from Buckwell, that was it. Can we get another sub?
Or is it advertising? I forgot what his narrative is. It doesn't matter. Suffer, Philip. Suffer.
All right, we're getting there. Ugh. 2 more hours of waiting. What'd you say? Each hour 6 minutes? So we got another 12 minutes of waiting? Oh, man. Ugh. So, I got a question for everyone who watches on YouTube. Is it true that YouTube instituted something new over the last week? That all you guys who use ad block on YouTube, that it blocked the site? Like, people were telling me that YouTube's down for them, and I was like, no, it's not. And then others were like, no, it's not down for us. And people started looking into it. And it ended up being that if you use an ad blocker, YouTube makes it so the pages just don't load anymore. So you'll just have a page of blank blocks. With no text, nothing will fully load at all. They did it so that basically you were forced to have ads now.
I haven't run into that, but I do know that they did try to do something on desktop, but between a VPN, any VPN really, you can circumvent that like super easy, and or just change or I've seen people, or I've heard people I should say, just change servers on their internet and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Just change their IP temporarily. Which you would think, oh, well, they just use the VPN. Nah, you don't actually have to do that depending on who your service provider is. You can literally just reset your location. If you know, you know. And they just do it that way. So it is what it is. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. Like, YouTube will never be able to beat ad block. They'll be able to hinder it, but they'll never be able to beat it. Unless they force YouTube to become actually like a pay-per-view type situation, which I doubt they'll do, but you never know.
Is that true? Yeah, I have YouTube Premium, so I don't see ads on YouTube regardless.
I'm sure that's going to change eventually. I'm pretty sure that's going to change. Because I've already heard people who say they use YouTube Music are starting to slowly but surely get ads creeped in. So we'll see.
Happened like a week ago, but then it stopped popping up. Yeah, you know what it is whenever YouTube makes a change, it's so short-lived. YouTube will say, we're going to do this, we're going to change this, and then everything just adjusts anyway, and it's all undone. Like, this is like the 10th time that they claim that they're going to have anti-ad blocking stuff. It never lasts and never works. It always ends up failing every single time. So I'm not shocked.
I mean, you can't beat the... It's like YouTube really can't beat the system. It's like Activision, for example, trying to stay ahead of the cheating epidemic. They can't. And so you got people on Reddit, for example, who are saying that, oh, they need to work harder, this, that, and third. You don't understand. It's not that they're trying to beat the system. It's part of the system. Ad block is part of the system now. It's not a thing that, you know, YouTube or Google is trying to beat anymore. They theoretically profit from it. Same thing with cheaters in Activision, like, you know what I'm saying, or on Call of Duty, I should say. Your cheaters, more often than not, are your most dedicated players. So why would you get rid of that? So they're not going to. They go ahead and tell you that they get rid of 80,000 people, 150,000 people over the span of a weekend, and yet come Monday or Tuesday, the cheating's even worse than it was the Friday before. And then Activision won't do like simple shit like, I don't know, don't disband lobbies. Hey, give us a fucking filter for cosmetics. If I don't want to see fucking Beavis and Butthead floating around and shit, I don't really care. But if let's say I did give a shit. If I don't want to see Beavis and Butthead, I should be able to go into my options and hit a filter. You know what I'm saying? Or toggle something that puts a filter on to disregard that. It's the easiest fix in the world. Activision won't do it because then they think it's going to deter people from buying microtransactions. And it really won't. You know what I'm saying? Those who want to buy operators or cosmetics will do so. End of story. Like, there's no changing that. If someone wants to buy it, if they're going to make it, more than likely someone will buy it. But you're not doing anything. But you're not helping yourself when you have more and more people saying, you know, I'm not going to play this. This isn't serious. So what do you rather do? You would rather lose more of your player base and then hope that the few people that you keep will buy more and more cosmetics, or you put a filter up, which is probably the best option that you can. It's the best of both worlds, right? And you can hold on to the player base, and you can still milk the people who want to buy, you know, operator skins or cosmetics. It's not that hard to figure out. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that Activision itself has not put the initiative out to Raven, Sledgehammer, Infinity Ward, and Treyarch to do that just kind of shows how short-sighted they are. And to be honest with you, people like DSP is kind of one of the driving forces behind that, if you think about it. I mean, no yellow paint needed in this particular situation. For those of you who know, you know.
King Michael says they used to allow ad blocker, but they don't anymore because it messes up the internet.
Okay.
Those people who work at YouTube think they're so smart. Listen, for me, YouTube Premium, all right, gives me a lot of features that I really like. I get higher quality with certain streams. Actually, it says you get higher quality because you're a premium. No ads across the entirety of the site is exceptionally good. To be able to,
You know, it's really funny that someone who depends on ad revenue himself has the nerve to shit on it at the same time. But then again, he does that to his dents too. He shits on a dent all day while depending on a dent, which is wild to me. And then what's even crazier, I think I pointed this out in one of my recent LTG videos, is that it's funny how he talks about LTG, Section 8, welfare, this, that, and the third. And there's a demographic in DSP's audience who contributes, who falls into those exact same categories. They're inflicted with that same situation or circumstance. They themselves depend on the system that he himself was criticizing someone else for. And so if you have people in your audience who you depend on to give you money, who are on welfare or on some type of government subsidies or assistance, doesn't that mean you're on it too? Doesn't that mean you're dependent on it as well? Which means that you're really no better than they are. I'm just putting it out there. Just a thought.
never have to worry about an ad ever again without having to enable ad blocker or any issues with that. It basically runs better. It really does. Like when you're paying for premium, the site runs better.
That's placebo. He thinks it runs better because he pays for it to, air quotes, run better. It's like the thing with his internet, right? He says he pays for business class internet. It's the best internet in his state or in his area, which isn't true, by the way. But DSP's retarded, so he don't know because he don't compare prices. Even within Comcast, he doesn't actually compare prices. He doesn't actually know what the fuck he's talking about. He bought something that he feels will give him prestige, and he moved with it. End of story. And now that I think about it, hypothetical pig nose is our favorite game. It's funny. You were paying for business class internet. You were writing stuff off as business expenses, but you weren't registered at the business and occupation. You weren't actually registered with the Department of Business and Occupation in your state. So you thought you were just going to go ahead and apply for all of these business subsidies, theoretically. Well, he could have applied for business subsidies if he knew, but he didn't. I'll speak on that later. But you apply for all these tax breaks because you allegedly run a business and whatever, but you weren't registered with the state. But yet you were, but federally, he says he told them that he was running a business and that's how he was making all of his deductions. Sooner than later, he was going to get caught. So it really has nothing to do with, to be honest, it has nothing to do with detractors, trolls, haters, or critics ratting him out. He was going to get caught eventually anyway. But I do think that Panda leaving was definitely a precursor in some way, shape, or form. It's really interesting when you think about it. It's super interesting when you think about that.
Don't know what it is, but it just is. But like for me, it's an investment that's worth it. Every day when we're here on stream and the people are like, hey, check this out, do this, I can just open it up and immediately we watch. No hindrance, no bullshit, right? For me, it's an investment to have it. So it's not a big deal. I can understand why the common person doesn't want to spend like 15, 20 bucks a month. But if you're on YouTube...
How often does he actually do react content and whatnot that even warrants that, if you really think about it? If you really take that into consideration. Now, DSP doesn't do this. He doesn't actually go ahead and look at use compared to cost and try to balance out if it's actually worth it or not. He pays for conveniences that he doesn't even use. Great example. Back when he was in Connecticut, and well, truth be told, the whole time he actually was leasing a BMW, he had sat there and paid for this luxury package where he could literally bring the car in, they'll oil change, they'll clean his upholstery, they'll wash the car, they'll detail it, they'll check the car top to bottom. You know what I'm saying? Tire rotations, everything. He was paying for that each and every month, like something like $300-400 back in those days, for years, and never used it. Just because in his mind he liked having the prestige of having it, but never actually thought about utilizing it. DSP is the type of idiot who pays for shit that he don't need just to say that he pays for it. And then he's so stupid, it makes me wonder, did he try to write that off on his taxes too? Was that a thing that he was trying to do? Because DSP's a scumbag, so he'll try to write off anything that he can. With that in mind, it makes you wonder, what does he try to write off monthly or yearly, I should say, in his day-to-day life? Like I said, all that door dashing, I said this in another video too, all that door dashing, I'm pretty confident he writes that shit off. I'm pretty confident, especially, sorry. That, I think, is one of the driving forces on why he brought DSP Tries It back. I think he was already watching people in the mukbang community, and a lot of them have been very upfront about how, you know, hey, we write this stuff off. It's a business expense. I think DSP does the same thing. Because I want to tell you that report of the week, because he does Q&A sometimes. I think he's spoken about this too. I'll have to look into that further, but I'm pretty confident it's something along those lines. I think that's really the driving force behind DSP Tries It. And if you think about it, he ain't sat there, he's getting over on these assholes like multiple times over. Let me explain real fast, then we'll get back to the video. So he's getting the dents to pay him to hit goals to do the DSP Tries It, right? Then they have to pay to they actually pay him while he's doing the DSP Tries It. Then he's writing that shit off on his taxes. That's fucking wild. And so and if you think about it from that standpoint, it makes sense on why he charges them $1,500 to do a DSP Tries It. I want you to think about that. To hit 10 goals at $150 a goal is $1,500. $1,500 for him to spend what? $100 worth of DoorDash between him and Kat? That's $400 profit on top of what he's going to go ahead and try to write off later. And then if he's writing off WWE Champions as a business expense, because remember, he did those streams for about a month or two, you know what I'm saying? I wonder if he's still writing that off as a business expense. I know he tried to, but I'm wondering if he actually did, if he's still doing it. And if they're asking, oh, well, we need some evidence or proof of it, he can go ahead and point to all of those streams where he actually did so. Just something to think about. I'm sorry, I'm going off on a bit of a tangent, but it's starting to open up a much larger conversation. I may have to do I'll name the segment later on that. That might be an interesting talk. Now I think about it.
All the time. I don't know why you wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't you? But the funny part was that YouTube originally was like, oh, we're going to be like Netflix. We're going to have our own shows and shit. Wow, that really lasted, didn't it? Remember, it's actually that's what started Cobra Kai back in the day. And then there was the PewDiePie show, Scare PewDiePie, and that got canceled after one season. Even though they filmed a whole other season, they canceled the show because PewDiePie said the N-word. It's like, what were they thinking?
That's actually an interesting story too, because there was another show PewDiePie was doing. But he don't know this because he's fucking stupid. There's another show that PewDiePie was on, or it may have been the same show, where it was him and Jacksepticeye. And when PewDiePie came out with the whole, you know what I'm saying, what a fucking, when he sat there and did that bullshit on that bridge, I think he was playing PUBG at the time. Oh, it's funny looking back at that now. Anyway, Jacksepticeye came out publicly to go against PewDiePie, which makes sense because, you know, gotta protect the bag. And, and one of the most amusing turn of events, people turned around and looked at Jacksepticeye and was like, wait, you wouldn't have even been in that position if it wasn't for PewDiePie. So you're going to bite the hand that fed you? So then Jacksepticeye, after a few days, because, you know what I'm saying, all these people are soft in the ass anyway, after a few days, he came out and apologized, this, that, and the third. Supposedly, him and PewDiePie's friendship really wasn't hurt that bad, like PewDiePie understood. But allegedly, Jack, a couple of years ago, had said that him and PewDiePie don't talk the way they used to, given that situation. But I think when Jacksepticeye's father got sick, or he was dying, because I think he did pass away, PewDiePie was, I think, one of the first people who reached out to him. So there's at least that. Anywho, the point being is that when PewDiePie did that bullshit, there was a lot of dominoes that fell. There was a lot. PewDiePie had his hands on a lot of shit and a lot of different things, a lot of pies, if you will, and fucked up the bag for a lot of people. A lot of people. But here's the interesting part. Not everybody came out and spoke up against him. It was only like people like Jacksepticeye who ended up suffering the worst in the end. You know what I'm saying? And one theory hasn't been proven yet. It probably doesn't even matter at this point. But there was one theory that the reason why Jacksepticeye turned on PewDiePie is not because he gives a fuck about the N-word or black people or whatever the fuck. If he did come out and stand on business, so to speak, he thought that they would put him in position to where PewDiePie was, and then they would just bring somebody else in as another co-host for the show, like Markiplier or someone that Jacksepticeye would have been able to handpick, whatever. And obviously that didn't happen. So in a lot of ways, Jacksepticeye got humbled in the worst possible way. Got to tell you, man, you got to be very, very strategic when you're doing business, especially when you're going around PR fucking fiascos like that. You really have to pick and choose. Signal boosting and all this other silly ass shit, that doesn't carry the day, especially not anymore and whatnot. If you're keeping up with that American Eagle fiasco about that commercial, that right there is a shining example. If you look at the people who are offended by that, do you really have a reason to be offended? Or are you just kind of just going out of your way to be mad? And even then, it's not working. They just weaponized your frustration, your anger, whatever, and they turned it into even more sales. And I would assume like Old Navy and brands like that will follow suit. So, day and age of inclusion, where everybody, all size fits all, that shit's coming to an end really, really fast, and people are not ready for it. But we'll see.
Man, seriously, it's so ridiculous. Well, I don't know what the hell Mudahar's talking about. I have premium and there's no ads. So I don't know what he's saying, but there's no ads in premium as of now. Nor has YouTube notified anyone they would have ads in premium. If they did, they would legally have to tell you. Because if
actually, just in case you guys don't know, I'm pretty sure it was not long after this. DSP did look up something on YouTube or whatever, and there were ads coming up, and he went ahead and bitched and complained and talked his shit. Yet again, if you don't know, then don't speak on anything. Oh, well, Mudahar said this. Oh, okay, well, I haven't seen that yet. Instead, oh, well, I don't know what the fuck Mudahar is talking about. What's he talking about? You know what I'm saying? Shouldn't he be doing tech support or some shit? What the fuck? And then come to find out Mudahar was right. Of course, now that we all know that Mudahar doesn't have the credentials that he says he does, that doesn't mean that he doesn't have some knowledge or know-how. It's just he doesn't have the credentials that he's been preaching about for the better part of a decade. Yikes. So DSP may play upon that later if it comes about. It's an interesting time to be on YouTube, I gotta tell you.
If they don't, then you could sue them. Oh, almost. Almost.
Just tanking the gameplay. Holy shit.
They said ads were coming to premium and YouTube Shorts. Well, who the fuck would ever watch YouTube Shorts? YouTube, again, YouTube always chasing the trend so late. Who cares?
That's ironic that he would say that, given what his disposition is. But this is coming from a mongoloid who literally was trying to get some attention from YouTube Shorts himself until he got lazy, or whoever it was that was doing the Shorts for him, because I don't think he was doing it, and they just stopped doing it. And the reason why, and imagine that. I want you to really think about this for a minute. On two fronts. First one, imagine you being so lazy and your content being so shit that you don't even want to go through and make shorts out of your own content. Or two, you having a dedicated dent to go ahead and make it for you, and they can't find anything entertaining, amusing, funny, or provocative in your content to make a fucking short for you. Imagine that. That's wild. But let me actually give you guys a comparison. Let me give you guys an example of that. Jay and fucking Review Tech USA, which led to their beef. What was that, last year? Like last year or the year before? I want to tell you that was the beginning of 2024, but it could have been late 2023 now I think about it. Anyway, but look at that situation, right? Like literally, like Jay was like, hey, we need to jump on these shorts. It'll help bring attention to the channel. Fucking Review Tech's like, oh, they're not profitable. It's not about being profitable. It's about advertising. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point of it. You know what I mean? Unless you're making, or unless you're getting, I should say, tens of millions of dollars or tens of millions of views on those things, it's not really going to be worthwhile, but it does have, it's a tool for advertising. Review Tech couldn't see that either. Review Tech was too lazy to do it himself. Jay tried to do it, but there was just so much dead air in the content that it just didn't make it worthwhile. And then it was one of the many things that led to that beef. Gotta tell you, man, it's fucking YouTube has become, I think for a lot of people, to be honest with you, YouTube was like the worst thing that ever happened, to be honest with you. And I mean YouTube in that of it being profitable. YouTube was never established or built for people to make a living off of. It just wasn't meant for that. The infrastructure itself still isn't meant for that, to be honest. It eventually went that way because of the fact that they had so much attention on themselves. But the reality is it was never meant for it. And so now you got a bunch of fucking dents who may have been something, or at least they thought they were, 10, 15 years ago. And now they're resorted to streaming and begging, basically, or doing antics, or having, hey, pay me $500 and I'll extend the stream till 2 a.m. or whatever the fuck, to just try to make ends meet. And it's not even working. You know what I'm saying? Fucking Wings is crashing the fuck out currently. He's crashing the fuck out because he's back on Lolcow Live, so he has that Lolcow Live money, but his streams are absolute trash. Well, they were trash before he went back, but now they're trash now. They're absolute fucking trash. You know what I mean? And now he's essentially begging people to make fun of him or mock him or ridicule him as long as it's on the back of a $10 bill. Wild, bruh. Wild. Because none of these guys had a concept or took it seriously from a money standpoint to save any of it. It's like they thought they were going to do it forever and the money was always going to flow. Not realizing that, you know, more and more people were inspired to do the shit or just to try it and get successful themselves. And the pool was going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. And yet these are the same people who have the nerve to sit there and tell you how real life works, or how business works, or how you should conduct yourself on the internet. Insane when you think about that shit. Absolutely fucking insane.
About YouTube Shorts. They serve absolutely no purpose. They don't promote channels. They don't help anyone. They're a waste of your time.
And yet even the bigger channels do it. Semantics. If Phil can't eat off of it, then it has to be useless. That's wild. Just because you failed at something, everybody else who does it is failing too. They're just not going to tell you. They're dishonest. I'll tell you what really happens. It's all the other people though that are going to lie to you. Okay, gotcha, Phil. That's a sick way of looking at the world.
No, I don't get any discount on YouTube Premium. I get no benefits, nothing. No one likes me. Trust me. I'm shocked that I get...
Because I'm petty. I want to bring that back. Because I'm petty. I thought things turned around, Phil. I thought the internet loves you now. I thought the internet values you and respects you now. Womp womp.
No, I don't get any discount on YouTube Premium. I get no benefits, nothing. No one likes me. Trust me. I'm shocked that I get on the Kick front page as often as I do. I guess that moderator, Dimitri, for Kick actually likes me.
No, he feels bad for you. And you can't tell the difference, which is really sad, actually. And not sad in a pathetic sort of way, even though it is sad in a pathetic sort of way. But it's sad that he is so dependent. No, let me reword that. He's so accustomed to people's charity that he can't even tell the difference if people actually like him now or if they just feel bad for him. He has no clue now. He can't tell the difference. He really can't. And I've been looking into that too. Like, why is it that he was given, like, you know, is he getting front page status? Is this guy Dimitri's a dent? Or is it that DSP just streams so often that they don't, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they probably clock in who, like, how often certain people stream and how much attention that they bring in, or whatever the case or whatever the criteria are. And that's what ends up kind of propelling certain people to the front page, or they have like a rotating way of doing it, whatever. I'm not sure yet, but I'm assuming that it really just comes down to just charity. That's really probably all it comes down to. And even funnier enough, back when him and Kino Casino were cool, I'm pretty sure they were probably putting the word in on, you know, hey, you know, this guy does gaming content. He's on a pretty consistent schedule. Could you feature him once or twice? And maybe someone was like, yeah, sure, why not? Whatever. So who could say? But it's not based on his own merit. It's really not. It's more than likely just charity.
And that's why he does it. But no one else likes me. Like YouTube, I am now a 17...
And given all the years and all the shit that he's talked about, that he's spoken about on YouTube, and to YouTube and about YouTube, he thinks people should like him? Wow. That's really sad.
You're YouTuber, but I guess they go by channel, right? So DSP Gaming, no exaggeration, recently celebrated its 15-year anniversary on YouTube. You notice YouTube celebrates all these people hitting milestones, but never me?
Well, because you don't do shit, and that you don't produce nothing. So you basically want to be acknowledged for just being around, right? Like, I guess it's supposed to be seniority. It's not about what value you actually bring to the platform. It's just you've been around for a long ass time. That's really pathetic. But this is the same guy, ladies and gentlemen, who tells you, hey, the FGC should listen to me. They should. I've been around for a long time. I was a competitive player. I was a tournament organizer. I was hated and I was respected. And I have insight that I think is valuable. Doesn't he say that the gaming sphere on YouTube should also listen to him and also give him the opportunity to put his thoughts out there? They should platform him to give him a chance to talk. That's weird, though, because he shitted on actual gaming journalists, YouTube content creators. Why would anybody want to talk to you on that front? So you've shitted on people in the FGC. You've shitted on people that work at YouTube. You've shit on other content creators and streamers on YouTube. I don't really understand why anybody should give you anything about anything. But yet he's sitting here crying and lamenting about how nobody likes him.
They just ignore me. We pretend like DSP doesn't exist, right? Right. Oh, okay, you know, no one knows DSP except everyone knows DSP. You know, everyone knows me and my content, but act like he doesn't exist. Sweep him under the rug. Right? I don't get nothing. I get no respect. Absolutely no respect. Just like Rodney Dangerfield.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Oh, look
you
how
can actually
sad
see
he
the
is.
grounds out there. See it? That's cool.
Oh, look at how
You
sad
can see
he
the
is.
different directions of the mansion.
Wow.
and the city around it, I think, too.
Wow. That's amazing. Suffer, Philip. Suffer.
Almost. One more hour of waiting. One more hour.
He's got absolutely nothing to talk about.
It's funny. I wonder what Phil would do if YouTube demonetized him. Why would YouTube demonetize me?
That's funny. He said the same thing about Twitch. We all saw how that played out.
I literally do nothing risque, nothing of any.
And then his mindset is so archaic that he's like, oh, well, you know, anything that he thought that could get him in trouble or did get him in trouble in like 2014, 15, or 16, he's still running off of that, right? It's 2025. All that shit is 10 years damn near outdated. There's a whole bunch of new things that you could literally get slapped up for. But because DSP's stupid and he's lazy, he has no clue what the actual TOS is, what the policies are. He just waits until he gets hit for something and then wants to plead ignorance. Well, no, first he wants to say, I didn't do anything. Then when the shit gets reinforced, then he wants to plead ignorance. And then he wants to beg for forgiveness and then get away with a slap on the wrist. Shit, sometimes not even that.
Fervor, or you know what I mean? The people who make fun of me are the most idiotic, mouth-drooling, boring people on the planet. I don't do anything even worth making fun of. I just chill and play games and hang out with an audience.
What is the people who make fun of you, what does that have to do with anything? They asked, what happens if you get demonetized on YouTube? No one brought up a detractor, troll, hater, or critic in this. Already setting up the excuses. Holy shit. Or preloaded excuses, I think is what Tevin, or is what Tevin calls it. Praise me.
You know, normally. I don't do anything that would ever get demonetized. I don't talk politics. I don't talk religion. I don't talk racial stuff.
We're lying on all three fronts, but all right.
I don't swear at the top of my lungs.
We're lying on four fronts. Okay, let's keep it going.
At people. I don't get into fights with people and insult people personally.
Oh boy, I'm sure LTG amongst others would have something to say about that one. So we ain't lied 5 or 6 times at this point.
Like none of the things that would ever get you demonetized have I ever done.
Let's bring that back. Let's bring that back. Holy shit. To be able to lie like that, so blatant. Insane, bro.
Idiotic, mouth-drooling, boring people on the planet. I don't do anything even worth making fun of. I just chill and play games and hang out with an audience, you know, normally. I don't do anything that would ever get demonetized. I don't talk politics.
It's weird how he shoehorned that whole thing about, I don't even do anything to be made fun of. What is, yet again, that had nothing to do with the question, but all right. All right.
I don't talk religion. I don't talk racial stuff. I don't swear at the top of my lungs at people. I don't get into fights with people and insult people personally. Like none of the things that would ever get you demonetized have I ever done.
Wow. Just wow.
No, I didn't tell chat to kill themselves, but I will tell you to get fucked. That literally never happened, but go ahead.
I thought you said you don't cuss at people. All right, bro. And I think that's when he told people to walk off a cliff or some shit, or off a building. I can't remember now. It doesn't matter. It all flows together either which way. Holy shit, bro. And because he's such a reactionary bitch, he can't keep himself together. Like that brief flash of anger, and then he just reacts. And then he wonders why no one can take him seriously. Oh, it's fantastic. But to be able to lie like that so fluently, it's not very good, don't get me wrong. But to be able to lie so fluently like that, if that's not mental illness, I don't know what is. I don't know what it, normal people don't do that. Do people lie? Sure. Sure. But not like that. That's different. You've got to be built different to be able to do that. And then stand behind it.
ahead and keep making shit up. Go ahead. See how long you're in my chat when you literally make stuff the fuck up. You idiot.
And it's that type of behavior is what got his ass booted off of Twitch, or at least one of the reasons. I honestly think they gave him the whole hateful slurs or whatnot. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. That's probably one of the many things that was listed. I think that's just what DSP hyper focused on, because if he admitted to everything that they got him for, it would make a whole lot more sense. And then he would have to argue on multiple fronts. DSP's not good at doing that, and so on and so forth.
All right, finally we're almost there, guys. Less than an hour left to wait. Yeesh.
Like, there's not something else in the game you could go and do? Like, there's not something downstairs you could collect or something while you're waiting? Nope, just lean in manual bans, huh? All right, fair enough. Do what you gotta do, son. Whatever it takes to make you feel better. Right back at it. Oh my god. You gotta get another addiction. You know what I'm saying? He's got an addiction to anger, to spending, to gacha games, to obviously his liquor, probably to his pills. I've been preaching that for a while, that I think DSP has a pill habit. But and then he's addicted to fucking banning people. He's addicted to power, even though he has none. What power do you really have banning someone from your chat? When, truth be told, most of those accounts he's banning are just burners anyway. You know, they're throwaway accounts. You know what I'm saying? They're 10-minute fucking email accounts and shit. No one gives a fuck. That's why I don't mean shit. Oh, man.
Oh, excuse me. All right. Little more to wait. Guys, if you like blueprints, please support this stream.
What?
Right now, we're at $44 to support. We've
been walking in circles and banning people, and he wants you to support. Insane, bruh. Insane. He should have given up gaming like 2 years ago. Just do a 4-hour podcast a day, get mocked and ridiculed for it, and then have a bitch segment about it the next day. Just do that. It'd have been far more lucrative, at least for a while, and whatnot. And at least though the content will be interesting. It won't be good, won't be great, but at least it'll be interesting. Not this shit.
in this clock tower for like 5 minutes. No support is coming. Let's get some. Let's get a sub. Right now, there's no subs at all besides Buckwell is the one sub of the day. Let's get some subs from Kick. Let's get a super chat or a tip. Let's get going.
Isn't Buckwell the same guy who's supporting the American Truck Sims simulator games? Streams, I should say. He's the one that's like buying all of the DLC packs or whatever. Which is wild that they literally put fucking different states behind DLC. I guess it makes sense, I suppose, but god dog, dude, that's fucking ridiculous.
Of course I'll ask for support after sitting in a room for 30 minutes, because I'm the king and you're my bitch, and now you're not there anymore.
Oh.
That's right. The king holds court, and what are you here for? If you don't like it, leave, bitch. Oh, you did, because I kicked you.
Now, this is the same ass clown who, after the fucking Bottom Bitch podcast, the daily therapy session, is like, hey guys, I hope you guys stick around. Don't leave. You know, hopefully you stick around for the game stream. You know what I'm saying? The gameplay, it's chill fun. But then we're talking to people like this. Okay.
My bitch, and now you're not there anymore.
Oh shit, I didn't go back far enough. Let's not go back too far, though. Let's not give him too much.
Let's get some subs from Kick. Let's get a super chat or a tip. Let's get going. Of course I'll ask for support after sitting in a room for 30 minutes, because I'm the king and you're my bitch, and now you're not there anymore. That's right. The king holds court, and what are you here for? If you don't like it, leave, bitch. Oh, you did, because I kicked you.
Wow. Just wow.
Almost. Jeez, we're almost there.
Oh, shit. Whoa, shit.
Right now, this literally is paint dry simulator. Like, the fact they make you wait until 1:30 in this room is pretty ridiculous. Is this the only time thing besides the time lock safe I think there's only two things in the whole game that the time matters. This and the time lock safe.
Riveting.
All right, let's go downstairs. We want to see the wall open.
So you literally could have gone downstairs.
Thoughts on Triple H ruining WWE? I wouldn't know. I'm not watching it. I watched it, you know, the Netflix Raw debut through WrestleMania, and that's it. I've never watched it since. It's been what, 2 months now? And to be frank, I'm not really missing it either.
All right, fake wrestling fan shit. We already knew that. I think Hunter's really in between a rock and a hard place, to be honest. I think he's really between a rock and a hard place, and I feel like The Rock basically set his ass up from Jump Street, and just Hunter didn't see it coming. But semantics, like, we'll talk about that another day. We'll talk about that another day.
There is another time puzzle? Really? What is that one? Our boiler room next to the lab. Excuse me. Okay. Oh. All right. Ready to continue? So I'm just going to say this while we resume. If you support this stream, I would appreciate it. I have now had many streams where we're not hitting goals anymore. Yesterday, we didn't hit a single goal. All right. I'm going to make offers. I don't think anyone's going to take me up on them. You know, I
thought we were successful. I thought we were thriving. I thought the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics are liars, and they're jealous, and yada yada. They're envious of him and all this bullshit. And yet we're admitting to missing or not being able to hit many, many goals. Apparently on the 8th, June 8th, he didn't hit a single goal that day. I don't understand. I just don't.
To be negative, but I'm gonna make the offer over on Kick today. If you gift 10 subs, I will give you the VIP badge. If you do 20 subs, I'll do the OG badge. If you
I'm really surprised Kick doesn't have some type of policy in place to prevent stuff like that. He's literally auctioning off. Well, actually, it's really just auctioning off badges. But if you really think about it, it's DLC. It's like, this is literally a microtransaction that he's doing. Because obviously the badge doesn't mean shit. It's just, you know what I'm saying? It's a virtual item. It doesn't exist. It has no value on it more than what you put on it. I'm surprised they don't do that shit. I mean, I understand it's a gambling site, so what the fuck do they care? But still, that just seems, that just seems icky.
Do that means we're basically going to hit the goal, which I would really appreciate if we did. So please consider gifting some subs today. We have almost no Kick support this week at all. It would be great to get some tonight. Okay. DZ Abe did a $2 super chat. Are you excited for Big Brother 27? Yes, I have watched every single Big Brother religiously. I've memorized the names of every cast, and I know them all. I can recite them at a whim. Yes, I cannot wait. It is the epic show that changed television and life forever. Thank you, DZ Abe. Okay, guys, please let's get some support. Let's continue. Okay, guys, welcome back to Blueprints. We are now in this run where we're going to try to get the power room or boiler room next to the lab, so that way we could do the lab experiment.
What the hell he had? Like a brain stutter or something? The fuck was that?
That's actually a good question. So Tag just asked me. He says, well, $5 super chat, by the way. Thank you, Tag, for that. He says, has your wife tried your Switch 2? What's her thoughts on it? So after I was done with Switch 2 on Friday, she did try it over the weekend. She played it handheld, which she's...
Next to doubt, I'm pretty confident they got two of them. Like, I've always felt that that's what the situation was. I think what DSP initially, you know, during the whole Switch 2 fiasco, what he was trying to do was get two Mario Kart Switch 2 bundles. Mario Kart World Switch 2 bundles, I meant to say. I think that's what he tried to go for. Obviously, it didn't work. Now, whatever happened is whatever happened. We've talked about that ad nauseum. But clearly, they were still able to get two Switches and whatnot. And I'm pretty sure that she has her own. Because I think that was always the plan. And if DSP is writing that shit off on his taxes, I mean, the more, in his mind, The more he can consume, the more he can write off, the better things are going to be for him.
Said was fine. It was fine to play it handheld. Her only complaint was the battery only lasted around three hours of playing, and then it kind of was dying, and she had to charge it again. So that's kind of bad, in my opinion. Only 3 hours of battery life. I don't know. But anyway, so she played Mario Kart. So she played on 50cc. You know, she was only doing handheld mode. She didn't have as good controls and stuff. So she played 50cc. She also beat the entire game in one sitting.
It's 50cc. Like, so what? Like, keep in mind what he's saying here. She didn't play 50cc, then 100cc, and then 150cc. She just played 50cc. Like, yeah, I would think she would be able to do it in one sitting. I don't think it's that difficult. The fuck? Like, this is preschool type shit.
She saw every single level in the game. And she liked it. And then she played online a little bit. She didn't really like the online play, but she enjoyed, you know, all the stages. And she was like, you know, maybe I would go back at some point to play it again. But she's like, basically, I beat the whole game again in one sitting, just like you did. You know, so maybe she would go back and play the faster challenge difficulties later. But she's like, I saw the whole game. It's like, it's not a big deal anymore. Yeah, I know. That's exactly what I...
Oh, shit, they're both dense. I mean, I know this. We all know this, but they're both dense. Holy shit. You're going to sit there and play it on the easiest setting and just be like, oh, yeah, I've beaten the whole game. There's nothing else to it. Like, really? You know, they gave us 3 circuits for a reason, right? You do know that 200cc is coming, right? You may want to... Whatever. When 200cc actually shows up, I'm wondering if DSP will still play. If he does, boy, the computer's going to have its way with his ass when that happens. That's going to be hilarious.
Say that if you've seen the whole thing in one sitting, then like, why? What is your motivation?
It's like they've never played. It's like neither one of them have ever played a Mario Kart game before. It's fascinating. Absolutely fucking fascinating. But I guess if you don't want challenge, if you don't want struggle, if you don't want resistance, is probably the term I'm really looking for, it makes sense that you would act the way these two are acting.
To go play again. And it just felt like really poorly done. That there's no content in the game. It's the same 32 races as every other Mario Kart, that they charge you exactly the same. Oh, and she hated the open world. She got bored within like 5 minutes. She was doing like challenges stuff. She's like,
that's interesting, because that's the same thing he said. Womp womp.
What am I doing this for? And I was like, I honestly don't know. And then we looked it up. You find out you get those stickers. The stickers are pointless. They don't do anything. She's like, well, what do I want to play this for?
And here's the thing, too. So you know how people say, oh, well, DSP actually has pride. He doesn't have pride. But people will tell you that, though. And that's because most of them, I think, just don't know the difference between pride and ego. But anyway, people say that DSP has pride. You know what I'm saying? He's constantly trying to, you know, he's fucking, the lies are fucking crazy. Anyway, he's constantly like going through adversity. He's constantly, you know, trying to get through these games. He's doing the best he can, so on and so forth. The reality is none of that's true. And not to say that the people who say that are liars, unless they're dense, then of course they're lying because they don't know no better. But the reality is that DSP is goal-oriented. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's completely and utterly goal-oriented. That's the reason why, for example, in Street Fighter 6, when he bitched about M. Bison, why he bitched about Mai Shiranui. When people figured out how to get around them and he couldn't scrape his easy wins, basically, he got pissed off. He paid his money. He should get his easy wins. That's the payoff. You know what I'm saying? That's the goal, is to get wins, to pad his record, to make himself seem he's as good as, you know, other pros. You know what I'm saying? But going the path of least resistance by taking advantage of people's ignorance or inexperience with a particular character or characters. DSP is no different with this. You know, when you go through the open world, right? I think it is a bit Spartic. But at the same time, though, too, it gives you a chance to actually explore in a Mario game that we've never actually had before. The fact that he needs to have a carrot at the end of everything that he does, or he needs to be rewarded for every little thing he does because he can't find the meaning or value in anything that he's doing or has been doing or has ever done, unless there was, like, you know, a dollar bill linked to the end of it, really shows you why when he preaches this bullshit about, oh, I'm passionate about games, I love what I do, I love my life, I love my job. Fuck all that bullshit. If you got to keep preaching that bullshit, then it's clear that it isn't true. You know what I mean? And that's the whole reason why DSP tries this and these fucking stream goals endure. It gives him a reason to get his ass out of bed and show up on stream. That's where we've been reduced to, if you really think about it. We've been relegated to the lowest common denominator. Give me $150 just to show up now. And then I'll let you guys have the privilege of watching me further me and my wife's diabetes, you know what I'm saying, you know, later on in the week. That's literally what this is now. He doesn't give a shit about games. He never did. He can't compete. And so him crying about fucking low tier God, him crying about fucking Justin, crying about all these people, man, you can't compete where you don't compare. And now he's somehow convinced, at least in the short term, who knows how long it'll last, he's dense to pay him $150 just to show up. Not to actually accomplish anything, not to do anything, not to provide any value, just to show up. I want you to think about that.
This box and the white box are both false. It's impossible. Then this couldn't be true. You open this box and find it empty. This box has to be false. A true box contains the gems. Wait. I knew it. Ha 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 ha. Very nice. Oh, I guess we'll do dark room so we can go in both directions. Dr. Jedi says, so your beef with the system is that it's a lack of new playable content. Exactly right. It's not that I don't like the system. It's not that I don't think that Mario Kart's a good game. It's just, it's a brand new console with one game and the game's done in 3 hours. Shit. I should have went back to the conference room. Darn it. I didn't go back, and now these doors might both be locked. They are. I have to go back to the conference room to get keys. There should be a ton of keys in the conference room. But yeah, like, there's only one game, and it's a 3-hour-long game. So, what else are you supposed to do?
Yeah, offline. And even then, that's not completely true, but semantics.
With the console. After you've done that, you play online randomly a few times. Okay, got it. Then what? Nothing.
I guess it sucks not having friends then, huh? I guess it sucks not having members-only streams, right? You know what I'm saying? Or doing co-op with other content creators. It sucks to suck. I guess that's what happens, Phil, when you're, you know, on an island of your own, one-man army. You know what I'm saying? I bet you're missing John and Howard now, or at least John anyway.
Replay a game you've already played. It's not.
Oh, speaking of which, I've been thinking about this for a bit too. You know how DSP, every time he gets a new console, he's always bringing up his his friends list on on PSN, Xbox, Nintendo, so on and so forth, right? Funny enough, I don't think most of those people on his friends list even exist. Let me explain. So when people jump from console to console, stuff happens and transfers, people change their names up, so on and so forth, whatever, right? Or some people just make all new accounts. That's a thing, especially if you're jumping from like your PS3 to the PS4, for example, stuff like that. I'm thinking that most of the people that are on his friend list are just dead accounts. They're people who either just stopped playing or they went ahead and just started all new accounts and they were able to transfer some of their stuff over and what else, but the name still exists. Because I have people on my PS3 friends list who have completely different names on PS4, so on and so forth, and then on PS5 as well, so on and so forth. So I'm thinking, at least for Xbox in particular, I think some of those people are just dead. They're just kind of dead accounts. You know what I mean? They're just dead. They're just completely dead accounts and shit. Because it's weird that you have all these people on your friends list and you never want to collab with them or anything at all. He only did it with the FGC because he had to go off and beg those people on Twitter to actually collab with him and shit. They weren't already on his friends list. So what about the people that are on his friends list? Why doesn't he ever reach out to any of them, see what they're doing? Just something to think about.
Big deal. You know what I mean? Like, there's just not much to it. Even with Switch, you can argue when the Switch came out, there was only, at that time, one brand new first-party game. But guess what game it was? Zelda Breath of the Wild. That game was incredibly long. That game had a ridiculous amount of content. You could play...
See, here's the thing, though, too. He, for someone who's supposedly passionate about playing games, he doesn't talk like it. He talks like someone who is in the business of milking content. And he's not even good at that, which is hilarious, by the way. But he's literally in the business of trying to milk content, not actually play games, not actually explore the game for whatever it has to offer. It's how much, it's how many hours can I bleed out of this? That's his problem. And you don't hear that from other people. They may say, or at least a few people may say, oh, they say the game's clocked out at 15 hours, it's at a third. We'll see what's what. They have a website that actually tells you that. You can go to and ask how long is this game, whether you want to be a completist or if you just want to play the game baseline. I roger that. But do you actually see people on day one being like, all right, we've got this new game. It's about 50 hours or so, this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? And we'll see what's what. No one talks like that. No one talks like that at all. Like, are you playing the game because you want to play the game, or are you playing the game to try to milk it for what it's worth? Something to think about.
Play that for a ton of time. It wasn't just do the same repetitive thing over and over. The game had insane amounts of exploration and content. So that's what angers me, is they sold this thing at a premium price as if it was a brand new console with tons of stuff. It's nothing.
No one told this dent to buy it. Remember that. No one told this dent to go out and buy it. And then he crying and complaining about a console that he made his money back and some probably within the first week anyway. And he's going to write it off on his taxes later. What did you really lose?
It's very, very bare bones for what's in it, you know? So here's what I can do. I could go south and I could open all the southern doors, or I could go north, but then I might end up in a dead end. I guess I'll go north first. Okay.
There's a joke somewhere in there, but it's beneath me, so I'm not going to do it.
Okay. I got a $2 tip. Someone says, hoping we see the ending today. How much would we need it to keep it in the rotation? I told you, if we hit the goal, the 150 goal, I will keep it in the rotation occasionally. It will not be all the time, but I will bring it back.
Then you have no incentive of paying the 150 goal. And like I say, he does that in our current day and age. Of course, he's pissed. I mean, fucking Donkey Kong Bonanza's pissing him the fuck off. I feel like Minecraft is going to be on the chopping block eventually. Mario Kart World is already gone. What else? I don't think Truck Sims is going to last too much longer. And like I said, I think it's Buckwell is sitting there paying for DLCs each and every session on that. So that they're really throwing their money away. This quote unquote business strategy of his of getting people to front load on contributions to keep games alive or to keep them in the rotation, even though DSP is very clearly going to get rid of them once a new hot game that he's going to try to chase the trend on pops up, is probably one of the biggest cons, to be honest with you, of the current year. And like I said, it won't last. Sooner than later, people will wake up and see it for what it is.
From time to time, to keep going, to try to get the true ending. We know what we need to do now. I've been told we need to get the power room, or excuse me, the boiler room next to the lab to do the experiment. So that's what I'm working toward.
And then, did he actually learn that through exploration, or did someone have to tell him? Now he just told us that someone told him. But that's my point. Like, he doesn't play games to actually play games anymore. He just wants to get through it without being humiliated, or at least minimize the amount of humiliation. Let's say that, and just kind of move on to the next game, or to drag out a game if people really show genuine interest in it, until he bleeds it for whatever it's worth, and then wage quit it, and then move on to the next thing that he thinks people will pay for. We're not even talking about video games anymore. Everything is just his whole stream is just one big ass microtransaction. That's all it is. It's just one big ass microtransaction. And something tells me more so, I used to think it was really just him following the WWE or the Scopy business plan for WWE. But the reality is, DSP is a reflection. DSP, Darkside Phil Burnell, Dark Geppetto. He's a reflection of what our current game industry looks like. To be honest, our AAA game industry looks like, where for most of it anyway, is just follow, basically buy into the big names, buy into the legacy, the rose tinted glasses, if you will, and milk you on microtransactions for as much as they can. And then if you decide to quit the game after a week or a month, who gives a shit? You bought the game, you bought some DLC, they already got their money out of you. And then when season 2 of DLCs come out, you'll be right back. DSP does the exact same thing if you break it down. It's really not that different.
Well, Corey Art is the only one that doesn't run us into a dead end, so. Gems we don't need.
It was a bit more slow pace, but I see the value in this. So big ups to Raw Phil, big ups to Diggs. And yeah, like I see the value. I see the method and the madness behind it. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, let's close up shop. Oh boy, let's close up shop. Okay, so what are our thoughts as it pertains to nobody? YouTube doesn't like me. YouTube doesn't respect me. Nobody likes me. That was a nice bit of self-awareness on DSP's part. To be honest, one of the rare times you actually get to see it, and it's one of the rare times you actually see how much it hurts him. To know that, you know what I'm saying? Because if you say it, even though I know, a lie is a lie, or an answer is an answer. It doesn't matter if it's a lie or not. An answer is an answer. There are times where DSP does actually show some genuine self-awareness. It's just very, very, very few and far between. But it's funny how he's tried to tell us for years that I'm always going to be here. I'm always going to show up. You're never going to get rid of me. And at least people like myself have said, I don't need to get rid of you. I want you to keep showing up. You'll never be acknowledged. No one will ever appreciate anything you've done. And even after you're dead, no one will care. That's when the real knives will come out and they're going to work over your carcass, and then you'll have nothing to say about anything. History will be written by his detractors, trolls, haters, and critics, and that's just the way it is. And the fact that he's at this point right now where he's admitting, people don't like me, people hate me, and I don't understand why. Everybody else gets appreciated, everybody else gets their flowers, and I don't get anything, man. No one cares. That right there is telling. It's a bit unsettling, to be honest with you, because you'd like to think that everybody has some type of worth in life. But that's so it could be a bit unsettling. But I also think that's rather eye-opening, at least for him anyway. I've already known this, and most of you have already known this, so nothing to say about that. As it pertains to Kat, whatever. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure she's waiting for the next bit of DoorDash to get dropped at her trough. So no value gained or lost there. And yet again, I think you're seeing back in June, which apparently there was a lot of insightful things that went on back in June. Exactly how we got to where we're at now. Not only how games are being treated, but also his threats of suing detractors, and just his general behavior as it pertains to games, the game industry, and other content creators in general. It's starting to really close in on him that what little money he's bringing in is not enough. And if a couple of streams can cripple you, then what value do you really have? Not the people who give you money. They're dense no matter what, at least in my book. But what value do you really bring to the table? And slowly but surely, even a dent to some degree is going to come to that realization as well. And what are you going to do then? What are you going to have to threaten them with? What, the next viral game that you're going to quit in 1 or 2 sessions anyway? If you even make it that far? Like, what is it that Darkside Phil really has provided or has to provide to keep people around? When he can't even get most of his detractors, well, he can't get any detractor, maybe a dent tractor, but he can't get any of his detractors to buy in on his bullshit anymore. It's easier just to watch him suffer. It's easier to watch him sweat and basically get starved out. I don't know why it took so long for people to understand this, but I guess a dent is a dent. But that's where the real content is. No one gives a shit about the gaming stuff anymore. We have This Is How You Don't Play for that. How long can Darkside Phil continue to go on doing what he's doing? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. I'll catch you guys for the next one of these, whenever that may be. Hopefully sooner than later. But yet again, a bit of a slower broadcast, but certainly it gives me a lot of perspective. It gives me a lot of pause for thought, certainly. But anywho, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of thought. I gotta tell you, I may do I'll name the segment later on that. Now I think about it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, for the Snort Report, for SnortBucks Coffee Company, for Hearts Knows Gin and Tonic, for Tim Snortons, and for all of our other affiliates and subsidiaries, I've been your host / anchor GTG, and I'm signing off. Oh man, bro, this holiday season, it's already been a really hot summer. But this holiday season is going to be very, very interesting to see how he plays this out. And it's going to be interesting to see who steps up to help support him, if they can even do that at this point. Anyway, I'm GTG and I'm signing off. Later, people. Wow, just wow.